My family went to the mission field a month after I had turned 13. It was somewhat common knowledge that my dad had always wanted to be a missionary. And we had hosted missionaries coming to our house to have a meal together and talk. We only spoke 5 phrases in Spanish. Por favor, gracias, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo estás? And no sé hablar español. I learned more or less how to express myself within 6 months, but the ones who know me now from those first 6 months said that my accent was atrocious. Most of the time we were at the Bible school, but then we'd take literature out, and down there, the Ticuna tribe, they celebrate the village's anniversary and the church's anniversary with a 3-day-long party, which was always a very good opportunity to distribute the World Missionary Press literature to pastors who had come with their delegations and also to everyone else who had come for the party. My mother and I, after we'd spent about 4 years of doing 2-3 week-long campaigns where we'd go along and visit different villages, doing VBS and sitting down with the pastors and church at night and handing out literature and then going on to the next village. It got to be too hard on my mom because down there you do have the sun directly overhead, so you have to be drinking all the time and it will wear on you quickly. And my mom's health got to the point that she couldn't be traveling on the river all the time, and so she started teaching English, first at the churches and then at the mom and pop shops. And then another missionary wanted to teach amongst the military but didn't want to actually learn Spanish, and so my mom went along with him. And then through that connection, we found out that the military was facing a lot of civil unrest in other parts of Colombia, and it was a depressing situation that was leading to a lot of suicides amongst the military. And so my mom approached the mom and pop shops and got donations from them and from gifts from the States, and we put together a small gift bag of appreciation for the military. And so nowadays, that is where she spends a lot of her energy, and she and I teach English. And the World Missionary Press literature is always good for giving them reading practice because they are familiar with the Way to God booklets. They use them for children's church. Even the Catholic Church uses the Way to God or God Loves You or He is Risen for the children's church. Only 1 in 100 make it to 70 years old. They do get married a lot earlier. They start having children at 15, but there's also a lot of miscarriages, about 1 in 3 or 1 in 5. Then if they start drinking in their teens, then a lot of them will die of either liver failure or bar fights before they're actually of legal age to be drinking. So the families do tend to have 6 children or more, but by the time they're in their 40s, they have lost one of their parents and 2 to 3 of their siblings already. Several of them are mistakenly experimenting with same-sex attraction because some came in who saw the Ticuna culture's tendency for guys to stick together until they choose who they want to marry and girls to stick together. And a lot of homosexuals from the big cities in other parts of Colombia and Peru told them that that was because they were homosexual, which unfortunately will mess with their psyche and with their health. Although Brazil is more advanced in treating AIDS, it isn't considered a fatality down there. It's just a minor issue that you then go on and live. A lot of them have cell phones nowadays, which has changed the culture, and they like to share jokes and funny video clips, and they love to get together out on the street and play soccer or jacks or marbles, or get together and sit over a cup of coffee and talk about homework and talk about who's dating whom. They're very much more sociable. Down there, if you tell your boss, sorry, I'm 30 minutes late, somebody stopped in for coffee and we were chatting, their boss's case of, excellent, did you happen to mention where you work? Are they going to come in and do some shopping? For me, my favorite part about it is all the experience that come after you accept Christ. A lot of them have only heard the gospel up until you accept Christ. And then it's kind of like, and they all lived happily ever after, fade to black. So I like working with them, showing them about how you do put it into practice, not to earn your salvation, but as a result of your salvation, and how that can turn around and lead to having a more fulfilling, positive outlook as you go through your day-to-day duties. The World Missionary Press booklets are a lot of fun to use for learning different languages because of the fact that a lot of the Bible, the New Testament verses are available on audio or video clips so that you can hear the pronunciation. And even in situations like when we had some come from Haiti just traveling through, you don't even have to know the language per se if you have the World Missionary Press booklet or if you have the app on your phone and can just point to them and say, okay, can you read this verse for me? So it's a lot of fun to use that to explore different interests, and learning languages is actually not as difficult to do as a teen or young adult or adult as the common theories say. There's no such thing as too old to learn and to go as a missionary if that's your desire, or to reach out through internet and get acquainted with people in other parts of the world if you want to.